Hey everyone, today we're looking at the Jungle Pride Megazord from Power Rangers Jungle Fury. I'm going to be honest with you, I've never actually seen that series. It's on my list, obviously, of things to catch up on, but this was during a time where I was really busy with work and craziness, and I don't remember ever seeing it on TV. That said, I remember seeing this set in Target and being like, man, that's cool. And I did actually own this a while back, but this is my second set, and accidentally I ended up buying the Japanese version. I didn't realize it was that until, well, actually until I got it home. So that said, there is at least one feature difference I know of between this and the American version, and I will show that when it happens. And there could be paint and that kind of stuff, but to me that's pretty minor in most cases. That said, we've got three Zords, or apparently in the show they're called animal spirits and never referred to as Zords, despite forming a Megazord and not a Mega animal spirit, but that's a minor nitpick. You've got the red tiger. Obviously the colors are, I would assume, pretty obvious, but that said, they don't call them the red tiger. It is just the tiger. Then you've got the jaguar and the cheetah, who just got smacked in the nose. I'm sorry. These are all cat-based animals, feline, if you will, which is awesome, because who doesn't love cats? Actually, there's probably a few people who don't love cats, but we're not going to get to that. And I love this set. I just think they look pretty cool. And they're pretty big, in my opinion, especially for toys. They don't form the largest Megazord per se, but they are nice size, and there are no stickers, which is fantastic. I'm pretty sure the Mystic Force toys didn't have stickers either, but I could be wrong there. My memory's not fantastic, and I don't have them right in front of me. But that said, the set doesn't really do very much, but they do look really good, and I would display them if I wasn't a stickler for putting things in Megazord form when possible. I would display these individually too. They look great. So we'll start with the cheetah. It's got some great gold paint showing off the spots. Not a lot of articulation aside from transformation, but you could, in theory, make these pose and do cat jumps and that kind of thing. The mouth does open on it, and it does move back a little bit, so you could pose it that way. But that's mostly because of transformation. Again, like most of these things are. But it's got I don't really like the shade of yellow they used, but it is what it is, and I know what the Jungle Fury suits look like. I actually dislike them a lot. But I don't remember if this yellow is the yellow that's on that suit, but it might be, which would make sense. But I feel like it was Wild Force that had a really terrible yellow on the action figure in America, and I feel like this is another case of that. I don't super enjoy it. I like these orange stripes on the belly. But they don't really serve a purpose. I will show them off in the Megazord form and just make a complaint, but we'll get there. There's also this switch, which for when you're detaching the Zords and from the Megazord, you can see right there's a little switch right inside, and that's what releases it. So don't just like rip it off. And then the tail, of course, the tail pops off to become a weapon, spoilers, but it doesn't do anything, it doesn't move. So then we'll look at the Jaguar, which is essentially the same mold. I mean, it's not the same, but the functionality, the transformation, all of it is exactly the same as the cheetah. But again, I like how it looks. I like the silver and the black. The blue is a really nice shade. We've got the orange stripes down there, and the release button again, so same with the tail. It pops off for the weapon. Spoilers. But it doesn't do anything. The mouth moves, and the only difference really, like aside from general shape, is that this Guy has goggles. And I just moved his head. They're kind of stiff on mine. But I don't really know what that serves a purpose for. Maybe it had something to do with the Japanese version. Maybe it's in the American version and I just don't know about it. Because like I said, I haven't seen it. I know in America, their morphers are sunglasses, which kind of is a nice throwback because I know this is how it's supposed to look. But I don't know what the GekiRanger morpher was. But I like to keep them down generally. Though sometimes I waffle and decide, no, I don't like those. And they go up. But you can do whatever you want to do, obviously. I'm not your dad. I can't tell you what to do. So the big boy of the show is the tiger. He's got the biggest mold. And you can see he's rotating a little bit. He doesn't really lock into place, but that's because of his mechanism and giant battery pack. I'll show that in the Megazord form. He's got orange on his chest and paws, which we will again get to. He's got great detail, just like the other ones. Just the silver and the black and the primary color looks really good. I'm sorry, he keeps rotating. That's just me. And then his tail does whatever. You can open his mouth too. So that's there. But he doesn't... All of his articulation comes from the Megazord transformation. Like, you can move his paws and stuff, but it doesn't really accomplish anything. So I'm not going to bother with it. But with that in mind, let's go ahead and start the transformation. It's very easy, which I also appreciate because I like simple transformations. I don't like parts left over, that kind of thing. So this is really easy to do. And the blue and the yellow being the feet reminds me of the Dino Megazord, and I guess the Thunder Megazord too. But they transform very similarly to the Saber-Tooth Tiger in Mighty Morphin, but that's obviously not a reference, it's just how it works. Just knock the camera over, but I detached the tail. You push the head and neck up like that, and you push the legs like this. So they just snap into place. And then these legs go back, or I guess forward. And then there's this little piece here for stabilization, which doesn't really do anything when you put it down because it's like leaning, but I guess it works. I'm going to move this tail out of the way because it's getting annoying. Blue is exactly the same, so just fold these back. You can do this in whatever order you want to, clearly. So I don't know why, but I always try to push that the wrong way. See? I can't do it. And he's also got to stand here. So they just chill. I'm going to actually move them off to the side for a second because the big boy is so big. But you detach his tail as well. It's got a nice connection, which is good because obviously you don't want it to fling off somewhere. But you start here, at least I do, and you pull the legs down and push the feet down like that. And then they kind of wrap up and lock into place. Then you get the things, the knees, to stick into the Zords, into the other Zords, to form the legs, which I'm going to do now so I can stand him. But stand him, I get it. Anyway, this is pretty simple. He's almost done. You just rotate his arms into place, and then you try and adjust this a little bit because he's a little awkward. And just rotate him. Boom, he has hands. Isn't that nice? And then push his head down, and on the back you can kind of see right here there's a little, I'm going to call it a switch, but you push it, it opens his mouth, and his face comes out. The lighting's a little weird, even though this is a pretty well lit station. He's very hard to see because of the black, but you can get the idea. But boom, you've got the Jungle Pride Megazord. Like I said, I really like this design. It's an agile Zord in the show. He doesn't really rely on brute strength or weapon skills. He does have a weapon though. But I just like how he looks. He looks fantastic. He does have his little gimmick, so he's on. If you do this, there's a button here. He spins around and does his, presumably one of his attacks in the show. You can adjust him as needed. And then there's a button on the back right here. Let's see if I can do this. You hold him up and I guess he does a corkscrew kick. Kind of neat. I don't usually keep batteries and stuff in the toys because I don't want them to leak or corrode. I'm not opposed to lights and sounds because I like anything that gives functionality to somebody who might want it. They're not for me. I usually find the sounds and stuff kind of annoying. So, not that I ever really play with these, but they, you know, it's just not my, it's not my thing. I'm readjusting, sorry. So now he does have a weapon, which are the 3 tail pieces. The tiger one goes in the center and then the 2 others connect to the end. I'm not putting them together here yet because these are supposed to be a nunchuck set for him, or I guess a nunchuck. But obviously these are plastic, they don't flex, so they look more like a bow staff when he's holding them, but whatever. You can actually put one in now, which I'll do there. And then you take his fist and you slide this through, which can take some effort. And then you take the bottom and you just attach it. So, for the sake of camera ease, boom, there he is. He has his nunchuck. So, like I said, I like this sword. I think he's pretty neat. Bandai really did some weird stuff with this line, and this was the first one where we got like some Japanese molds and then a transforming line, which was a Bandai of America mold that, like, the extra Zords from the series, like the elephant and the bat, etc., didn't work with these in America because they only worked with the transforming ones. They were smaller and less complicated and stuff. So it was a weird mix because then you have the Jungle Master Megazord, which is the same mold as the Japanese one, like this, and American ones are the same. And so there was a weird hodgepodge of like what you could use and what you couldn't use, and it kind of sucks. So if you have the American version of it, if you get the Japanese pieces, they all work. They're the same mold, so you're not completely SOL, but it was a weird decision. I understand it because they were trying to save money, but I do not like it. There are, like I said, more Zords to the set. I own a few of them. Eventually we'll get around to it, but just as a display piece or even as a toy, it's kind of one of the more action heavy ones because of that rotating feature. These are all 100% professional terms, so please enjoy them. But I definitely think this is worth a purchase, and I think he looks fantastic. So on that note, that's it for this video. I will see you guys next time. Make sure to check me out on Twitter at OG Machinations and on Instagram on Old God Machinations, or at Old God Machinations. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. And I will see you next time. Bye! And just adding this in here because I forgot to do it in the original first filming, the difference between the Japanese and American version is pretty simple, but there are lights in the fists of this toy, which that was the only reason I knew it was the Japanese one when I started playing with it, when I was testing it out. So I'm going to turn off the lights in the review sooner. I keep making up new names for this thing and just show that off, but it's off right now. Let's turn it back on, and then you can see, look at this, they're lighting up. So that's it. That is the extent of the differences that I know of. My one disappointment with that is that the chest and then the orange spots on the back of the Zords don't light up or have any kind of connection. I don't really understand the orange. Let's see my head. Hey, what's up? They don't really serve any purpose that I can tell. They don't light up or do anything, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, I didn't want to leave that out. So again, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!